Jigar, another successful season for the academy and for the Pathway boys. How did you reflect on 2023?
I think we've had a relatively good season in terms of the Pathways and academy coming out of the summer. Obviously, within that, there's been quite a few individual successes, which is fantastic to see, and people representing higher honours as well, some of the boys. But yeah, in general, I think one of the biggest highlights was obviously our under-16s going on to reaching the quarterfinals, which we narrowly or just missed out beating Durham. But yeah, that was one of the biggest highlights. But throughout the season, there were also quite a few other highlights as well.
And we'll talk on some of those individual stories, like of Alex Green, who obviously went away with the Young Lions, played best v best, I think 50 wickets as well for the academy. How impressive was he this year?
Yeah, it was really, I mean, he's someone that's just grown in confidence and grown in, obviously his skill level's gone through the roof really, but it's someone that we're keeping a close eye on in terms of his development going forward as well. He's still got a lot of work to do, but it was just recognition for his efforts that he made. He obviously contributed heavily with the ball for the academy. I mean, he's only 16 and he's playing in an under-18s tournament. So for the academy, he got in excess of 50 wickets, which was really, really good to see. And he got rewarded accordingly in terms of the best v best, which was he played against some of the best peers between the ages of 16 and 18. And again, he impressed in that at Loughborough in those two games as well. So it was really, really good to see.
And Jake Tarling, another example there. I think he joined the Pathway this time last year. Had a really good Super 4, I think successive hundreds in those games that went on to lead him to play against Ireland. And also his T20 form, for I think it was, looking at the stats, 236 runs, healthy average of 47 and striking at 175. How good was he? Yeah,
I mean, he joined us, like you said, at the back end of the winter. And the way he came in and performed the way he did is a huge credit to the way he went about it. Obviously, he'd put in a lot of hard work. He had some really big scores at school as well. And yeah, he dominated the T20, and the way he went about it, it wasn't just trying to hit 4s and 6s every ball. It's the way he constructed his innings that really impressed me. He sort of played the game, if that makes sense. He adjusted to different situations, and again, yeah, he went on to go on to play the Super 4s and done really well there as well. I do know now that he's in Australia, obviously enjoying the sun, so hopefully he's with one of our ex-captains, actually, Mark Cosgrove, who's hopefully he'll take him under his wing and learn a little bit more out there as well. So we're looking forward to obviously him having opportunities in the second team environment next year, hopefully. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah.
Jamie Duncan, another who obviously impressed, taking his academy average onto the international stage with Scotland, had a really successful tournament in their World Cup qualifiers at under-19 level, took home the Player of the Tournament award with many sort of 50s opening the batting. How impressive was he?
Yeah, look, Jamie is someone that stands out in terms of the way he goes about his cricket. He's always asking questions, he's always working hard, he's always the last one to leave the sort of fielding sessions. So again, he's got a lot of development left, but the way he went about his business is something that really stood out for us. And then, yeah, due performances in terms of Scotland under-19s and the Cricket World Cup qualifiers for the under-19s, that I think they're going to play in Sri Lanka in February, I'm right in saying, and his selection in that and the way he's went about stepping up that to the next stage is brilliant.
You've touched on there with Jake. Obviously, there are more second team opportunities available now with the streamlining of the first team squad. How valuable were those experiences to the guys this summer?
Oh, it's huge. I think in terms of the summer just gone, I think there was a consistent stream of at least 4 to 5 academy players that represented the seconds every game. And I think for the development of the boys in that environment, it's the next stage, isn't it? And that's what they want to strive to play. We get that sometimes there might not always be opportunities, but I think the way the cricket was structured last year and the way the second team was structured last year, I think it was spot on, and it was huge for the development of the likes of Joe Johnson, Sam Wood, obviously Jake Tarling got a taste of that, Liam Chu, Rishan Herath. So these guys were consistent playing. The academy scholars were consistently playing a higher level of cricket, which tested them. But that's what it's about. That's what I see them performing under that sort of pressure is what they're on the academy for. So that's their next step, and then hopefully they get good news from that in terms of if they perform. So.
And all those opportunities obviously will enhance their game, as it will working with the coaching squad across the pathway. I think we're really fortunate here that we've got such a wealth of experience to shape and to guide the boys. How happy are you that you've got that umbrella to work with at Leicestershire?
Yeah, I think, look, we're spoiled. Well, I would certainly have loved to come through the youth system here currently. With the likes of obviously Dieter Klein, Dave Whitmore, Paul Johnson, Philip De Freitas, and obviously the first team coaches that help out as well. We've got a wealth of knowledge and experience that the boys can tag into and gain that knowledge from and experience from. But they're very good coaches in their own right as well. I mean, each individuals are different. Obviously, some of the coaches look after two teams and also help out with the seconds and the first team as well. So it's for us to try and pass on the same message that from the first team through to under 12s, that the same message is passed on continuously. And the Leicestershire way is the way we want to try and play and win games. So it was brilliant to see success, obviously, in the 50 over competition, and that stemmed all the way through the sort of not the experience, but the joys that brought all the boys and the whole of Leicester was very, very good to see.
And how much inspiration can the Pathway and Academy guys take from the likes of the One Day Cup win, seeing Lewis Hill, a homegrown lad, lifting the trophy, Sam Evans and Harry Swindles, again, two homegrown guys, putting the match-winning performances, and Josh Hull, a guy who only come through a year before. There's so many sort of viable examples now that they can see, and they can say, well, that can be me.
Absolutely, it's vital. I mean, success like that, it just stems down, like I said earlier. But what it shows is that the academy is working. We've got a rich history of some of the boys, or the academy boys, go on to play first class cricket and international cricket. The most recent, obviously, being Rehan, which is a massive role model for the boys coming through. But like you say, it's the guys that performed in the final were all actually homegrown and academy graduates. So it's really good to see the success they've had and contributing massively in a pressured environment in a 50 over final and contributing to Leicestershire winning games. So I think that's the biggest message: is there is a way forward from Leicester. The pathway is a lot clearer. And yeah, if you put in performances and if you're doing the right things and if you're working hard, then hopefully there's a door there that might open for the guys out in the pathway as well.
We spoke at the start of the season about Josh Hull, obviously just being the most recent example of graduating. He'd been in and around the first team and made a couple of appearances. Did this season and how he went on to play such a starring role surprise you in any way, or did you always know that he had that capability even as an 18-year-old? Yeah,
he's always had that capability. I mean, a tall, nearly 7 foot tall seam bowler who gets the ball through at some pace and has ability to swing the ball. I mean, his attributes speak wonders for itself anyway, but it's the sort of bloke he was as well, or he still is, obviously, in terms of he's always massively keen to develop and learn new strategies, learn how to outfox a batsman. It just goes on, and I think the most impressive part was the way he fitted in. Yes, a lot of people will tell you this. In terms of the first year, usually you're finding your way in and you're sort of working out what professional cricket looks like. But the way Josh has actually handled all that it's a huge credit to himself, and not only just handled it, but he's actually put in the performances when it's required, which is fantastic to see.
You mentioned obviously Rehan as well, getting a central contract now with England. I think the youngest player to do that in the men's setup. How much of an inspiration can he be to the guys as well?
Oh, he's huge. Like I said, he's an instant role model to the guys coming through, and not just the spinners, not just the batters, everyone coming through the system. And not just for Leicestershire, from my point of view, I think it's from any academy environment or any pathway environment, when someone like that so young does so well, it just shows the youngsters that actually cricket is something that they can take up, and alongside, like I said earlier, hard work and skill, they can get somewhere. And it's brilliant for Rehan. Obviously, we're all happy and delighted for him. And yeah, we're looking forward to him putting in more performances for us and England, obviously. But and I'm sure most of the kids in the pathway are. And yeah, it's great to see.
Looking ahead now a bit more in the short term maybe, how does the winter look for the academy? Obviously, I think you said before, observations are underway and the intakes as well. So what are the winter shaping up like now for the guys?
Yeah, so we've gone through all the observations now. Academy trainings, academy and EPP training starts next week. We've got skill sets group starting next week. Batting, bowling, seam bowling, spin bowling, keeping. But yeah, that's pre-Christmas. We split off into skill sets. Where in terms of the academy and EPP, it's more structured now. And I remember saying this to you earlier in the summer, where we lost a whole block of academy graduates because the age group fell in such a way that a lot of them went and left us. But this year we've managed to stagger it, and there's some exciting players on that and some younger players on that are coming through. So hopefully it's a little bit more staggered coming through, so that when that year does end, we don't lose a whole chunk. We actually have more time to invest in players. So I think that was a huge thing that was important for us as a coaching unit. And yeah, that's come in. So we're looking forward to obviously the development of these players and see where they are in a couple of years or 2 or 3 years, rather than just say where will they be next year. And yeah, we're looking forward to that.
And that was obviously such a key structural change from 12 months ago to where we are now. Is there any more focuses you've got across the next 12 months for the academy that you'll start to implement over this winter?
Yeah, obviously alongside that, the academy pretty much train like the pros would train. The gym sessions, psychology, nutrition, obviously their skills, the fielding. We cover the whole range now as a pro cricketer would do. So just to ease that transition, hopefully when they do get that rookie contract or a contract, it's an easier process. But we're trying to pass that down now to the age groups as well, where the age groups also get gym sessions and S&C sessions, because I think that's a huge part of their development, especially as young as under 14s. If they're going through fundamental movements at that age and they learn about their bodies and learn about what's required for cricket, I think that can only give them a good education in terms of what might be required when they have to execute their skill.